Welcome to Lesson 4, Order of Operations with Rational Numbers, Part 1. So please watch the earlier order of operations to get a feel of what we're doing. So today we're going to work with rational numbers. Here's our objective, our vocabulary, rules and notes. Okay, so what I want to show you here is the G. You're used to PEMDAS, but the G stands for grouping. So you have parentheses, and above that you will get brackets, and on top of that you might see braces. So start from the inside and work your way outside. The parentheses go first, and then exponents. And a lot of people forget that multiplication and division are equal. They're opposites of each other. So do those, whichever one comes first. That's why it says do from left to right. And then addition and subtraction are also equal. All right, so our first example, negative 0.4 cubed times negative 5/2. All right, so let me rewrite that. Negative 0.4 cubed times negative 5/2 to the 4th power. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and multiply this. And so we put all of this in the calculator. You can just type it in just like it's written, with the parentheses and everything. And if you're not sure, if you have a TI-84, some kind of Texas Instruments computer calculator, the caret button will let you do exponents above 2. There's an X squared button over on the left-hand side next to the 7. And then there's a caret button above the division sign. So any exponent above 2, use the caret. Or some calculators will have a button that says X to the Y power. I think that's for TI-30s and some other calculators. So you might have to hit that for your exponents above 2. And so finally, our answer is negative 2.5. So on these, you will be using a calculator. All right, let's look at our next example. Negative 6 2/3 minus 5/9 divided by bracket 2.4 times 5 times negative 1 to the 9th power. Now this looks very complicated. Remember, this division symbol is a grouping. So what you're going to do is you're going to do all of this first or separately from the top. So we're going to handle them in 2 parts. So in my calculator, I'm only going to worry about the top. Then I'm going to divide by whatever the bottom comes out to. Okay, so doing the top, I got negative 2/3. So on your calculator, you got negative 0.6666667. And I know that that is 2/3. They rounded off to 7 because the calculator runs out of numbers. So I just converted that back to a fraction. On the denominator part, I got negative 12. And so I am going to do some fraction math here. So we're just going to put the 12 over 1 and do negative 2/3 times negative 1/12. And we can cross multiply, make that a 6, make that a 1, or cross factor. Negative 1 times negative 1 becomes positive 1. And then 3 times 6 is 18. And so your answer is 1/18. Or if you got 0.0555 repeating with a 6 at the end, that's fine too. You'll get the same thing. Okay, so those were our 2 examples. Please meet me at the end of the video for a recap. Okay, well, this is written a little sloppily for us, so let me rewrite it. So it's 5 squared minus 7 and 2/10. And the bottom is the bottom. So remember, you're solving the bottom separately from the top. So we're going to put this in the calculator and work it out for 25 minus 7 and 2/10. We should be able to do this in our head at this point. Negative 13 plus 8. Okay, 25 minus 7 makes 18. So we'll have 17 and 8/10 divided by negative 5. So doing a little fraction magic, we have 178 over 10 divided by 5 over 1, negative 5 over 1. 178 over 10 times negative 1 over 5 gives us negative 178 over 50, which gives us 3 and 28 over 50, which is negative. All right, so our fraction can be reduced down. So let's look. We got a 28 and a 50. They're both even numbers. So if we divide this by 2 over 2, we get negative 3. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 14 and 25 do not have any common numbers. So there we go. So make sure you reduce your fractions. You could have done all of this in the calculator. I hope you will put the numbers in right. So if you wanted to put the numbers in right, you would have first converted 7 and 2/10 to an improper fraction. So you should have typed in the calculator 5 squared minus 72 in parentheses divided by 10, like that, to get your numerator. And then if you divided it by 5, you would have gotten 3.56. So you could have left it as decimal or as a fraction, and there are several ways to do this. So, but make sure when you're dealing with fractions, you convert it into a improper fraction first before you do any calculations. That would be my suggestion, so you don't make any mistakes. Okay, so our second problem. Negative 12.5 plus 0.5. We're solving the numerator separately from the denominator. .375. I think 0.375 is 3/8. 12 divided by 3/8. Negative 12 divided by 0.375. So I'm solving this all in the calculator. Is negative 32. Okay, so when solving groupings, if you see a division sign, solve the top separately from the bottom, and then once you get the top and the bottom down to one number, do those calculations last. That would be my suggestion. And again, this is just a suggestion. There are several ways to solve math problems, but just make sure you pick one way and be consistent with it. Do everything the same way. Math is about putting things in a logical, ordered step, and then moving forward through that. So thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe, share these videos out, and hit that notification bell. And I'll look forward to seeing you on future videos.